But you got to straighten them out. You have to be straight.
Well, so you hold it like that?
Yeah. Well, not all the time, but. Oh my God.
So you're going to go pole vault?
Most important. My arm already, my shoulders hurt.
I would be rubbish at that. Hi, I'm John from Anglo Thai and I'm cooking today in the Gozney Dome. We're going to do a recipe with pork chops. It's going to be a whiskey and soy marinated pork chop with a red chili dressing. So we're going to start by making a marinade, and today we've got some black peppercorns, salt, coriander, garlic, palm sugar, fish sauce, sweet dark soy sauce, and a little bit of whiskey in there, and that's going to be for our whiskey and soy marinated pork chops. I've got these lovely pork chops here, and what we're going to do is we're going to smash up the marinade in a pestle and mortar, or you could do it at home in your food processor. So I got some black peppercorns going in, a little bit of salt, and I'm just going to smash those up first. And then next in, I'm going to go with some coriander root or stem, a little bit of garlic, all lovely aromatic flavors from Southeast Asia. And I'm just going to pound that up into sort of like a smooth paste. And the idea is you're getting all these lovely flavors together. The emphasis is on the black peppercorns, garlic, coriander, really nice flavors that will marinate nicely into the pork chop. A nice coarse smooth paste at the moment, and it's just looking like that for you at home. And next thing, I'm going to go in with some palm sugar. You can use brown sugar otherwise if you're not able to get palm sugar, and you want that palm sugar in there because that's going to create some caramelization on the pork chop when it's cooking in the Gozney Dome. So I've sort of muddled up all of my ingredients, and then at this point I'm going to go in with the liquid ingredients. So fish sauce first. It's going to bring a nice like umami saltiness to it. Ketchup manis, it's like an Indonesian sweet soy sauce, so you could use like dark soy sauce, sometimes called black soy sauce. That's going to add like a nice color to the pork chop as it's cooking. And then a favorite for me is a little bit of whiskey. We're using Irish Jamesons here today. And that's not only going to impart flavor, but it's going to tenderize the meat as well, which is super, super delicious. We'll go for 2. And then last thing going in, literally just got a little bit of neutral vegetable oil. Okay, have a little taste. Delicious. So basically now, all we're gonna do is just like massage that onto the pork chops. Be a little bit messy this, but it's part of cooking. Cool, and that's basically it for the first stage of this recipe. So nice pork chops there, sitting in a lovely bath of marinade, and then we're just gonna whack that in the fridge for a couple of hours. We'll come back to it later to cook it. Okay, so now our pork chop has been in the fridge for a couple of hours. Looks really great, it's taken on a great color. Smells fantastic. I'm gonna cook it in the Gozney Dome. I've got a wood fire going. You could just use the gas, but I think the wood will impart a really wonderful flavor into the pork. So we'll just take it over now and cook the pork. So we've got a cast iron pan here. I'm just gonna get it semi-hot in the oven, and I'm just gonna try and sear the pork chop and add a little bit of oil, just so the pork chop doesn't stick. Get that hot, and I'm just gonna go straight in with our pork chops. Nice sizzle. So I'm just searing up the pork chop on either side to retain all the juices inside. Lovely caramelization, and that's come from the sweet soy and the palm sugar. And I'm just moving the pork chops around a little bit, getting a sear all over. I'm putting it fat side down now just to make sure that it renders out. It's never nice to eat all the wobbly fat. We've got a nice sear on the pork now. So I'm just gonna set it to a cooler part of the dome, just to kind of cook out like an oven, really. So we've cooked the pork chops in the Gozney Dome. Lovely caramelization. I'm just going to take them out to rest. And you'll want to rest these for about 5–10 minutes, just so that they have time for the muscles to relax, all the juices flow back in. It's what you should get into practice with all your meats when you're cooking them. While we're waiting for those to rest out, we're going to make a spicy red chili dressing called a nahm in Thai. I'm going to start by prepping the chili. For the long one, I'm just going to take the seeds out. That will make it a little bit less spicy. So you get some heat from this red chili, but mostly it's for the flavor and the color. It's these bad boys that are going to be spicy. You can miss them out if you want, but I advise you to put them in for the real authentic flavor. I'm going to go for 2. Just a little bit of salt, to begin the seasoning, and also it acts as a bit of an abrasive against the chili, so you can pound them down. So the chili's pounded nice and smooth there. It's important to pound each ingredient nice and smooth before you add the next one, otherwise it doesn't fully incorporate. So that's chili. Gonna do a bit of coriander root or stem. I'm just using the stem here, and then some fresh garlic as well. If you cut everything down when you're using the pestle and mortar, it'll make life easier for you in the long run. So that's good. You can see like the chilies, the garlic, the salt, the coriander root, it's all been incorporated together nicely. I'm gonna add a little bit of sugar at this point. It's just gonna round off the like intense flavors, probably like a teaspoon there. It's good to just start with a little bit less maybe than you think you're gonna use, and then you can adjust it. And then we'll go fish sauce, salty umami, and then last up, lime juice. This one looks spicy, again. Just needs a little bit more lime juice, I think a little bit more sugar. Voila, spicy, sour, salty. Okay, so that's the nam jim done. There's our pork marinated and then cooked. So all we need to do now is just assemble the dish. Take our pork chop, basically just gonna carve it up. And it's important when you're carving meat, you'll see the line of the meat is running this way. If you cut the opposite way to that means you're gonna cut against the grain of the meat. It's gonna make it more tender. And you see I've left the fat on the pork chop. That's just because this dressing is like spicy and citrus led, so it's gonna cut through some of that. It's all the flavors in the fat anyway. Got my dressing here. I'm just gonna go generously all over the pork. That's gonna be nice seasoning for that meat inside. And then last little thing, a little bit of fresh coriander over the top. So this is our final dish. It's a whiskey and soy marinated pork chop. We just cooked it on the wood fire in the Gozney Dome. Red chili, nam jim dressing, a little bit of fresh coriander, and you can find this recipe at gozney.com.